to table.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to table the financials, so that you have the opportunity to review it, and when we meet back here in April, we can have a conversation.
I
Thank
won't be
you.
here. She won't be.
Well, Mr. Connor will be. No, I think thank you. You guys will have an opportunity to look at that, I guess, and before that meeting, if you have any questions.
Yeah, reach out, for
Certainly
sure.
reach out. If you have any questions, because it is a lot of information. But it is standard, programmatic checks that we try to do.
Yeah, so I told George, I said I have lots of questions about all of this. I certainly understand the grant funding and how this is great to track each of the segregated grants and their spend down. I guess, do you ever receive financials that look more like traditional financials
Can
that
I
might
stop you
just
for
show?
a second? Because I don't think we got a second to the motion.
Oh, sorry.
I'll give you a second.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, do we ever receive financials kind of on the core operations that are outside of the grant accounts and kind of how that is funded or other things, or there is no nothing else?
That's what you get.
Okay.
There isn't really a core operation.
Okay.
Practically everything that we do has a grant tied to it.
Are you talking about staff salaries?
Yes.
And that type of thing?
So that's, staff salaries are on the county side of things.
So that's how operations are paid for?
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
gotcha, because that's what I was confused about. When I was looking at it, I was like, well, where's the staff salaries? These are all grant payments, so that
Yes.
makes a lot of sense.
That's why when I.
Happy to sit down and talk
Yeah,
through some of
absolutely.
this, so
I know
have
that there's
better
going to be a ton
understanding.
of questions, because this
Yeah.
is definitely,
Yeah.
we're an anomaly, as I've said, for a lot of things. So
Yeah.
it's not just pick it up and look at it and understand it. It takes some time.
And I'm
So-
familiar with local share and tourism, but some of the other funds, I'm not as familiar with,
Absolutely.
so, thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion to table and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of my motion to table the approval of financials until the April meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Let's have it. Do your reading. It's something that you do for work. Some of us are like that. All right, solicitors report and action items.
Sure, currently, working on supporting the office with reviewing some right to know requests. And I do have, or there is one action item under new business that George will summarize. If there are any questions, I can summarize as well. We'll go over that when we get to that item.
Okay. Mr. Connor?
New business, so Harrisburg Event Center project, it's the Q Mansion on Front Street, Mark Borowski. He won a RACP award, so the IDA is a pass-through entity for RACP grants. If people request them, we do charge a 1% fee to pay for some of our expenses. This is a host municipality agreement, which the commissioners will sign, cooperation agreement with the IDA and the entity, and opinion of council from Everson Associates.
So just to follow up on that, what's being presented to the board today for approval is a resolution that authorizes the approval of the host cooperation agreement that George described, which is required by the Commonwealth under the Development Assistance Program. Along with that, this board previously approved a cooperation agreement between the IDA and the subgrantee, which is the 2201 NFS that's referenced on the agenda. And then George mentioned an opinion of council, which is not something that gets approved, but that's also required to be submitted to the Commonwealth as part of the RACP process.
So I will
Oh,
look.
I'm sorry, and here's the resolution that I mentioned.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, Brooke has it, okay, so that's what's being presented for approval, the resolution that authorizes the cooperation agreement.
Okay, so I will be looking for a motion to approve or put forward the resolution 2201 NFS.
So moved. Second.
So I have a motion by Alex, seconded by Doug. Further discussion.
I'm assuming at some point there's been a fee schedule put together for how these work, and there's been like a cost study to make sure that we're charging an appropriate price based on staff time and resources. Is that correct?
Yeah, we used to be, I think, 0.5%. We raised it to 1%.
I was gonna say 1% even seems low.
Oh, yeah.
For the market for that.
So.
But you're not writing the grant, you're just merely the pass through
Submitting
administration work. Do you ever do work where you are the help with the application or any of that, or you stay out of all
We
of
stay
that?
out.
Okay,
Since too much.
I'm just trying to understand. Thank you.
They do, I mean, but I will say that they offer, again, based on experience in other counties. You know, I know that folks who come forward on, you know, back the awards, you know, have felt comfortable with the amount of information they're getting, staff work, and, you know, I guess they feel like they're not being abandoned. Even though that sometimes that, you know, when you go from, you make the RCAP award, you get the award, announced, and then you're kind of stuck, who do I turn to? And, you know, the staff here have done a great job in the past with folks that have come forward. So I know, you know, from people saying that side, in my experience in the Lehigh Valley versus, you know, what we're getting here, it's just a little bit different, which is, you know, good. So again, something that we'll advertise more of. But I hear what you're saying about the administrative fee. And I think it is competitive in many respects. I don't know what Freedom charges, but they charge 1% for.
But they're right.
Yeah,
They're
I was
doing
gonna
more
say they
application.
do a lot.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm on the executive committee.
Yeah.
Pretty, so.
I'm sure of that. So I get,
That'll do the entry.
Yeah. Let's hope you do more than that's another story. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion to approve the resolution and do paperwork, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Motion carries. Old business, Mr. Khan.
Solar farm project, we're scheduled to close on the 18th, but that did not happen. We have a meeting, I think Monday is discuss in the next.
This coming Monday?
Yeah,
Yes.
very.
A call, a status call, basically. And the March 18th was a tentative date, but the IDA is and has been ready to move forward and or close. And the purchaser has, you know, said they need a little more time. So basically just waiting until they're ready, but we still are hopeful, or the IDA is hopeful to close in the first quarter of 2025.
You know, initially financing or grant funds or something.
They have not indicated that reviewing, you know, everything that they need to be able to take it over and operate it.
Okay, we'll look for your information from the meeting. Monday, gaming program update.
Sure. The hearings all took place as scheduled in January, as well as the applicants that did not receive a hearing came to a public meeting with the Gaming Advisory Board in February. And so the Gaming Advisory Board, along with staff, is reviewing applications, the additional information that applicants may provide to the clients, working towards making recommendations to the county commissioners. That's where the process currently is.
Infrastructure bank. Small business loans. Are we doing anything there?
Yes, I mean, you know, we've had some requests, for some loans, so I've met with a couple different companies. They just haven't submitted their applications.
Okay.
Is there some sort of place people can go to see how they can apply to be part of that process, or how does that work? Part of my ignorance.
Yeah, no, that's our website.
Okay.
All information.
Correspondence and miscellaneous items. Board comments. Hearing none, welcome aboard, gentlemen. Thank you for your interest in participating. Pam, public participation.
I'm just watching the process.
Thank you for doing that. I thought maybe you were going to have a comment for Alex as it relates to where people can go to find out information. So I know that you commented. in the
That's
past.
actually, well, I appreciate that question was asked, because that was one that I would ask.
I looked at the website and I missed it, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah.
I haven't ever really sought that out, but I will certainly do so in the next month and look and see how that works. Thank you.
All right, hearing no other comments, I will look for a motion to adjourn the IDA meeting at 12:30.
So moved.
And seconded.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. The next meeting will be Thursday, April 17th. I'm going to come wherever Autumn's going.
Actually, I will be here. I was thinking it was the week after.
Even better.
I will be.
All right, I would like to call the Dauphin County Economic Development Corporation meeting for Thursday, March 20th to order at 12:31 p.m. And roll call, we can take the same roll call as we took in the IDA meeting. And Mr. Reber, Mr. Foley, Mr. Whitley are here, so we have a quorum. Did not have the need for executive session. We held a meeting, as I stated in the IDA meeting. If we do have a need for executive session, there will be a communication sent out so that we can have that prior to the meeting so that we don't make Pam and other members of the public have to leave and come back. Sometimes it's. So I'm trying, Julie, we're trying. Pam, Parson, a member from Harrisburg of the public is here. There's no other public members here, although they can watch us, but they can't participate in streaming. And hearing none, Pam, do you want to comment at this point or do you want to wait?
No, I just want to say that I did notice that you also had it posted downstairs by the elevators, which was really helpful if one did not know where the meeting was being held today. You know, when it came up here, I had to wander around a little bit, but I realized you've been here a short time. And there's signage up yet, but,
That is how we will post every month.
oh, good,
Yeah.
okay.
And the meetings will be here. So,
Yeah, and that's helpful.
When it was advertised that it would be held in room 214. So there's a sign on the door that says 214. So the signage today will be the signage every month.
Well, when you come up the elevator, it doesn't yet
Yeah.
say that this is where it is. So I wandered down to public defender's office first before turning around and coming back this way. So yeah, the room numbering doesn't exactly follow.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to say when you come up the stairs, but
Right.
Or if you come up the
it's
stairs.
right there.
Yeah, that's how I came up the
But,
stairs.
and correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't their office, so it's not going to say the IDA or EDC or anything like that, just the room number. But I will also add that there's always a security guard downstairs when you enter the building that, public or anyone. Because even when I came in, I'm in this room all the time. I said, is it the room right at the top of the stairs? Yes.
That's what I.
Yeah. It's good that, there's a guard downstairs that can assist.
And you have the best guards downstairs.
Like the IDA meeting, because of the resignation of Steve McHale from the IDA and the EDC boards, we need to reorganize. And so I will make a motion to reorganize with myself as chairman, Mr. Rickard as vice chairman, Mr. Reber as treasurer, and Mr. Foley as secretary.
Second.
But you seconded. Any further discussion? Any other questions? I mean, again, I would ask, I know you talked to George, John, and I encourage both of you to talk to not only George, but to Autumn, and to them, quite frankly, because there's a lot to learn. And they make it pretty easy.
Who was the fourth person you mentioned? Sorry.
Deb,
Deb.
yeah, Long Slaughter, who's in the office downstairs. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion for reorganization, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Approval of minutes of February 20th. Like the IDA meeting, I think they're a fair reflection, so I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Rickards, Mr. Foley. Further discussion, I know that you want to get the same vote because of the same rationale. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes for February 20, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Abstentions?
So we need a different second then.
No, he can second it.
Oh,
Yes.
He's just saying that
Oh,
the
okay.
motion can be made or
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Elle, for
Yeah.
raising it.
Okay. Thank you for approving the minutes. And I will make a motion to table the acceptance of the financials so that the new board members have an opportunity to review them prior to our April meeting, when we can discuss them if need be more fully. I'll make a motion to table those acceptance of those financials until next month.
Second.
Okay. Motion to second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Abstentions? Solicitors report and action items.
No report, thanks.
Any new business, Mr. Khan? Any old business? Staff program reports.
Yes, so CDBG and Home, was in DC last week at a conference for the National Association of Housing and Development Authorities. We discussed public housing, Section 8 housing, low-income affordable housing, CDBG and Home. We met with Senator McCormick's office, Senator Fetterman's office. Congressman Perry did not meet with us. The group is the contiguous counties, Lancaster, Lebanon, York, Dauphin, Adams, and Franklin. The CDBG program is scheduled to be eliminated by President Trump. They're always picking on this program over the years that I've been here due to it's a low-hanging fruit. We're helping the unhoused, low-income individuals, low-income housing, affordable housing. It's not top priority. And it really upsets me to talk about this. So, we're fighting for the program. Hopefully it's not eliminated. So any support that anyone can do, right, support that is part of the program, and that's beneficial. I know Millersburg uses it a lot. Dauphin County, Halifax, Grants, let's go. Down south uses it there, it's used it before. Harrisburg has their own allocation, their own participating jurisdiction, entitlement community, and the state of Pennsylvania as well. So it's a beneficial program. It's a job creation piece, and obviously it's elimination of slum and blight, and to assist low-income individuals as well in the housing, affordable housing piece that is much needed here in Dauphin.
How much do we get?
We get about 1.4 million in CDBG a year and about 600,000 in the home program. When I started back in 2002, we used to get about $2 million in CDBG. And like I said, it's been cut year over year. So it's been pretty consistent at that 4 number. But It's constantly being attacked.
Yeah, my only thoughts, and this is just stream of consciousness, is like, if they do eliminate it, 1.4 million is a big number, but it's not that big a number that, there might be other sources of funding, even within the gaming program. Again, not knowing anything, but I can see somebody coming in and testifying from the gaming advisory board, looking for $2 million to do this. I mean, you could run the same program essentially that you're doing now, right? Even though it's federally funded now.
And
In Dauphin. Yeah.
Well, the difference between the two programs, CDBG can do pretty much everything.
Right.
Gaming can't. So gaming can't pay for salaries, admin services, CDBG can. So, and that's for nonprofits though, municipalities, not for profit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be a big loss to us.
But there's no way that they could access those funds at all.
Well, before, and that's what I asked Senator Fetterman's assistant, was the last time it was on the chopping block that they were going to propose another program instead of CDBG that had less regulations. There's a lot of regulations in the program. That's why a lot of people don't like to apply for.
Right.
And she said that wasn't an option. Now, I don't know whether they're proposing another program with less restrictions as far as permitting, bidding, the data space, rates and all of that information that's needed for the program. I'm not sure, just don't know. I have enough information. So we're still communicating with them, to provide additional information.
Tourism.
Tourism, I did want to, I misquoted myself at last month's meeting. I said 3 film festivals, 1 concert. We're doing 3 concerts at 1 film festival. My apologies. That's BC Live, the concert that the county will be putting on in August. It'll be 3 days of music and 1 day of a film festival. First time ever here in Dauphin County that we'll have a film festival. And should be good.
We're working with the Central PA Film Office on that.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
A lot of opportunities. So like I said, first time that I'm aware of that the film festival has ever been done.
Correspondence and miscellaneous items. Any board comments other than welcome aboard? Any comments from Pam?
At the last meeting, and when we were talking about the film festival, a question was asked if you had, about your discussions with the city, particularly about police protection. And at that time, you hadn't really done that. Have you had a conversation with the mayor since?
No, I had. So I had a conversation with the mayor. She told me to submit a request into the city. So I did submit a request to, her name is Tiffany Wise. So they have all of our expenses and a list of items that we need from them. We have not heard back yet.
Okay.
But yes, so police, trash,
Mhm.
all the amenities that are needed.
Will the city be reimbursed for their costs?
Yeah, we'll pay for some of
Okay.
those, absolutely.
All right.
Mhm.
And my other question was, I'm also a Capital Region Water Ambassador. And in our last meeting, they were not yet aware that the concert series was going forward because they do have projects
Right,
scheduled.
Interceptor.
Yeah.
I'm meeting with Charlotte next week.
I would argue that's a little backward, that talking with them first rather than, waiting until it's a done deal is a little backward.
Any other comments? I'll look for a motion to adjourn at 12:45. Here's seconded by Mr. Fulton. All in favor of the motion for adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Thank you all for watching on live stream, and if you have any questions, please email us. Thank you.